Now, this scene with the disciples is a pretty wild scene. You got to kind of imagine it. Imagine that you're in the boat, and this violent storm comes down, and you're caught up in it in the middle of the sea. I mean, it's dark when the storm comes. There's lightning and thunder roaring. The wind is howling. The boat is rocking. Water is splashing up over the boat. They're trying to bail water. They keep grabbing onto the side, trying to keep their footing. It's a crazy scene. These disciples, they're experienced fishermen. This is not the first storm that they have ever been in. But this one, they think it's the end. This is the one that is going to take them out. It's going to end them. They realize that they are in a dire situation. Things start looking pretty grim. It's dangerous. They think it's the end. And where's Jesus the whole time? Asleep. He's just taking a nap. Jesus, not worried about a thing. Doesn't even hear the storm. So they go wake him up and say, Master, we're perishing. We're all about to die. And Jesus is like, oh, really? No big deal. So he gets up and he walks to the bow of the boat, his face in the wind, and he looks out across the water and he says, peace, be still. And then immediately it's a lake. You can look over the side of the boat and see a reflection in the water. Amazing scene. Jesus uses that same voice that he spoke when he spoke creation into existence and commands the wind and the waves to obey him. Then he turns to his disciples who have committed to following him, and he asks them this question, verse 25. He says, where is your faith? Where is your faith? Now, when he says this, I do not think he is condemning them. I don't think Jesus here is like, come on, guys, why were you worried? You're such a bunch of weak, pathetic, fearful fishermen. Why were you so worried about this? Come on, where's your faith, guys? What's wrong with you? Why were you scared of this storm? I don't think that's Jesus' attitude or tone here. I could be wrong, but I imagine when Jesus said this, he kind of just had this smirk on his face. He's like, oh, where's your faith, guys? I think what he's saying in that is, you guys have no idea who I really am and what I'm capable of. I think Jesus actually here is pretty stoked, and he's stoked on the opportunity to give them a glimpse into who he really is and was as the Son of God, through whom God spoke the world into existence. And I think I'm right about this because look at the disciples' response in verse 25. When Jesus says this, they say, who then is this that he commands even the wind and the water, and they obey him? They get what he's saying. See, I don't think Jesus' question to them is a condemning accusation saying, hey, guys, you should be stronger. You should have had more faith. I think what Jesus is saying with this is, look, I got you guys, 100%. With me on board, there's nothing to ever worry about. I'm the Lord of creation. The wind and the waves, they're mine. They're at my command. There's nothing outside of my power and my control. I got you. I got you. Jesus isn't trying to teach his disciples to be stronger and not to be weak. He's trying to show them that they can be weak, and it's okay. Because he is strong. Because he is strong. Really, the whole nature of being a disciple of Jesus, this is kind of what it's all about. One who believes in him and follows him is dependent upon being weak. That's kind of what it means to be a Christian, if you're considering Christianity. It's an admission of weakness, that we don't have all of the answers. There's very little that's in our control, and that's why we need help. That's why we need him. Really, it means there's very little in our lives that we have power over. There's very little of it. Experts say that 95% of our lives and the things that happen in our lives are completely outside of our control. Think about it. What century and place that you are born, who your parents are, what your physical features look like, what your genetically wired talents are. Not to mention like things like where you end up getting a job, the kids that you have, how things go for you in life, whether fences break on you or not. I mean, there's very little that we really have power or control over in our lives, which can be scary. That's why we need someone who is in control and who does have the power. Someone who is strong over all. Someone who has the power to truly care for us in our best interests in our lives. Someone that we can entrust our lives to. Someone like Jesus. Today, are you here maybe and you feel that fear, feel kind of lost and uncertain about the future and where your life's going and the things that are happening? Do you feel yourself maybe on the other end like just grasping at power and control, just trying to make your life work a certain way, but it's not working? Fear that it won't turn out well for you. What I want you to know today is that you can let go. You can let go and it's okay. You're free to be weak. You're free to be weak. You can entrust yourself to the one who is strong. He's the Lord of creation. The Lord of creation. He offers to care for you. We're weak, but He's strong. He made us as dependent creatures. He's the creator. We're creatures meant to be dependent on Him.